Today I'm going to show you how to groom a dog properly to the skin. Lots of people just give a quick brush and think that's okay, but actually there's lots of knots which form underneath. Now Ruffle only had a bath and was thoroughly groomed before his bath. It's been dried yesterday, and I'm going to show you how quickly the knots form. So remember, a Wheaten coat is not fur, it's a single coat of hair, and so they don't molt and shed the hair, so it's important you keep them groomed and groomed properly, otherwise knots form and you end up with problems. Okay, so I'll start and show you that. If I just actually brushed him, it may look okay on the surface, but in actual fact underneath there'll be lots of knots and tags. I'm using a natural brush, a bamboo brush, and this helps lots of dogs, especially elderly dogs in particular, because it grooms without pulling the dog hair. So to initially get the first layer of knots out, or you know, little tags, it helps quite a bit without actually causing the dog some distress. Also, you can use a slicker brush as well, and again that will make the coat look nice on the surface, but it actually won't get down to the knots which are underneath. And if I now put a comb on him, you'll see how it soon stops. There, it's already pulling on the comb. It's not try and comb everything over all the layers, and it's to actually lift up the coat, start at the bottom, so you're only ever combing through hair you've combed. So start at the feet and comb through. You can already see the hair coming out on the coat. So always do it in layers, and you must get through to the skin here, because that's where the little knots and tags form. You can see it just sort of stops the comb slightly, you know, and he was well groomed just yesterday. It's amazing how quickly on the coat it forms, and this is a mature coat as well, so it's not too difficult. It's more difficult as a puppy and a juvenile coat, where they go through the coat changes. See, can't get through that, and that's important. You must get through every piece of hair. Do it in the layers, then you're only combing on top of hair that you've already combed. In particular the dogs and the bitches, they get a lot of knots form in the groin, a lot in the armpits and under the chest. Now when you do the body hair, lift up the coat again and comb in layers. That way, can you see, right through to the skin, and you can see and feel. And even though I'll go over this once, when I go over it again I'll find more knots and tags. So you don't just do it once, you completely go over it. And you can use one of these combs, or some people like to use this kind of comb. That's fine as well, as long as the teeth are fairly wide to do the initial grooming. I like one of these because I can hold it better. Always comb it the way the hair lies. So down the back you can go, but down the side that way. Now as you can see, now I can put my comb straight through and it's not actually pulling on anything. So that's probably okay initially, but when I go over it again I don't doubt I'll find some more. The front leg, do the same thing. Some dogs will let you hold the leg, some don't like it. As you can see, Ruffle's going to protest, he can sit down. do the same on the chest. Here it really, you know, can get knotty in here, and they'll form big wads of hair if you're not careful. And look, so if I did that all the top from the bottom, that's pulling the dog, whereas if I lift the layers like this, I'm only ever combing on top of combed hair, so it makes it easier for the dog, and obviously less problems. Many people have problems with Wheatens. It's usually grooming. It's the grooming, because they've not done it well enough, then it starts to hurt the dog. The dog starts to protest and starts to snap and bite because it knows it's going to be painful. You should start grooming your puppy from the moment you get it home, every day, even though it only takes 30 seconds to groom a puppy that's 8 weeks old or 10 weeks old. It must be done. It must be a discipline. Get yourself a table so your back doesn't hurt, and just get good equipment. It'll last you a lifetime, and you can go through your dog. Now the head, comb the head backwards and the fringe, taking care to avoid the eye. Make sure you clean every day. Make sure you clean the dirt out of the eye. It gets in the corner there. Just clean it out every day. And a lot of people ask that they'd like to see the dog's eyes, but they think they have to cut the whole fringe off, or faux as some people call it. You don't need to. You see these dark eyelashes? There are lots there in that part of the eye. If you cut across, you're actually going to cut all those eyelashes off, and they are the ones that keep the space between the actual hair falling over like this for the dog to be able to see and protect the eye. If you cut those eyelashes, this hair, when it grows, will turn round and likely poke the dog in the eye. So it's important. Now if you take the hair away from the side of the face, the dog they never miss a trick anyway. They can see even though you think they can't, and I know they've got beautiful eyes and a lot of people want to see them. Just take it away at the side and you can still leave this little bit of fringe, and it makes the Wheaten look like a Wheaten. Comb it forward, and again make sure you're going right underneath it, and same with the beard, because there's a lot of food and dirt when they're snuffling on the ground that gets into the coat, and you know, makes the beard smelly as well. So make sure you comb it. Always comb it forward and down, and that way, as you can see, you've still got a Wheaten looking head, but it can see each side. I can see his eyes, everybody else can, and when he runs anyway the hair flies backwards, so it's not a problem. Not just there, because I can feel it. Another way to help get it out, you can tease it a little bit with your fingers, but also you can turn your comb that way and just gently ease it out like that as well, and then as you can see it'll go through the coat. This little slicker brush, this is really handy just for doing in the armpits and in the groin area. So you just hold it and brush under the armpits to make sure you're getting everything out. This will loosen them enough, and then make sure again you go over with the comb to make sure and get all the little tags out, but that helps loosen them, particularly in the armpits and in the groin. Now you must also pay particular attention to the inside of the back legs as well. So hold the dog and stand, Ruffle, good boy, and make sure you comb all the inside. I've gone over him once now, and I shall go over him again before I'm actually finished, because believe it or not, there will still be some little tags. So again, lift up the hair, comb it in the layers, let little bits drop down and keep layering it and making sure there's no knots or tags left in the coat at all. If you do this every day or every other day, it literally will take 5-10 minutes. You know, once you've trained your dog to stand on the table, it doesn't usually take long. They're pretty amiable dogs. Get someone to stand at the front and keep the puppy happy with little treats, or just standing it still and just tell it to stand, and when it stands correctly, say good dog or good boy, whichever. So now, as you can see, my comb goes all the way through the coat, little tag there, lift it up, comb it down, and see, only little ones, but they are the ones that will form if left big wads. Don't be tempted to just leave it. Make sure it's out of the armpit and that's clean, and there's your dog properly groomed through to the skin and completed. So Ruffles the model today, 9 years old in January.